Well, good afternoon. Good evening actually. It's 8:30 in Vernon, BC, British Columbia. And I'm in Vernon, BC in the Okanagan Valley talking to you. Temperature is about 92 at 8 o'clock. It's still pretty warm. That's Fahrenheit. And, we're right in the midst of summer. If I go outside, even into the building here, part of it does not have air conditioning. My unit does. So we're right in summer. There's no doubt about that. And to tell the truth, I look forward to it every year, hot or whatever. Usually it gets into about the hundreds in about the first week of August in the Okanagan Valley, and that's just pretty near standard every year. So that's that's just summer. That's all it is. It's been like that for a long time here. Anyway, I talked about a couple of things in the last podcast I did about how the United States most likely is going to be the precursor to bringing the world right down to its knees, and the religious people and the evangelicals and all these people are going to buckle in, and they're going to join in with the Catholic Church to have a more, civil and honest world, I can see that happening. Also, the things that are coming, and it looks to me like, well, I don't think there's anything that anyone can do about this, governments or people. It's going to happen as God says it's going to happen. Now, if you can stand that, then you may figure things out. But to think that there's nothing that humans can do or the world can do to stop what's going to happen. I believe that because God said that. I didn't say it. I didn't come up with that. God declared that. The Catholic Church likes to get involved in social deals all the time. And they're promoting, unions and that, and, workers and things like that. And the thing is, it's the United Nations has proposed some kind of a deal that, they want a fair, decent work plan of some kind, and they're going to join together and have absolutely a work-less day, or a worker's day off worldwide for Sunday. Now, that's what they want to do. That's what the Catholic Church wants to do. That's what they want to do. And the Catholic Church will eventually make it so that they're, like right now, there's a big deal, you hear them talking about separation of church and state and all that. Well, the Catholic Church is going to make it so there is no separation, that the church is the state and involved in that. That's how, I actually feel sorry for people who have been brought up in the Catholic Church and believed in it and just give everything they could to it. Because nobody told me, or nobody took out a book and proved to me that the Catholic Church was not a very good group of people because of all the people they killed in the Dark Ages, and you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and how they had their underground group of people, you know, the Jesuits, they were called. They were just like an underground secret service. I guess they're still there too. Well, all these things, you know, there's what I always think is that there is we're moving faster than we think. We're losing personal control or rights. We're losing rights just like every day practically. You know, right now they've got it so that they can make a child in school do just about anything. Change them from a boy to a girl. If they get pregnant and they're 9 years old, they can have an abortion and they don't have to tell their parents. All that sort of stuff. And, you know, I hear talk now that we should have more immigration because our birth rate is falling so low. Isn't that something? What kind of news is that? Who the heck doesn't know that? Your birth rate's going to fall if you kill all your children. That's for darn sure. I mean, you don't have to be a scientist to figure that out. Well, a scientist doesn't necessarily figure things out anyway. They come up with theories. And anyway, you know, I've known that for a long time. If you kill your own children, your own people, your own Albertans and your own BCers and Canadians, and bring in strangers, you are going to have, you may as well open the door and tell them to take over your house and whatever, and here's this and here's that. So the thing about it is we're in a dangerous world. Really are. I'm not making that up. I don't make anything up. I have no real ideas or you know, of my own. Where would I get them from? I only get seems like a glimpse of understanding about what God has planned for this world. And all I can do is quote him. And I know that people are easily manipulated by religion. Oh man, do they ever manipulate the people? And it's getting harder and harder to do, though. And the government, which is taking the place of the authority of the individual. Yeah, it's the thing is, you know, I read Revelation, the book of Revelation the other day, on Saturday actually, again, and, you know, I started paying attention to it. The thing is, I know that what it describes in the Bible is 12,000 stadia. That's the length of one side of the city of God that is being built or has been built and is waiting to descend on this earth when this earth is all purified by fire and everything else. But I mean, I start thinking about it, and it, you know, it works out to around 1,500 miles square city, and also 1,500 miles high. I mean, I can't even visualize that. But so I started looking up on the internet, and I said, how many countries are 225,000 square miles? That's 1,500 by 1,500. Well, No, that's cubic. But anyway, there's not that many. And, you know, the city of God is going to be bigger than some countries, bigger than a lot of states in the States. And, you know, if you're 1,500 miles one way and then you got to be 1,500 miles wide and 1,500 miles long, you cover a lot of ground. You know, British Columbia is about 1,250 miles from the southern border to the northern border. It's not even 1,500. And it would take Alberta and Saskatchewan together to make the 1,500. So that city would be as big as about BC and Alberta combined. And BC is 125,000 square miles bigger than Texas. So this city of God is bigger than Texas and about equal to BC and Alberta combined. Not quite, that's lots bigger, but it's bigger than BC. That's something, I know. And the thing is, all this stuff is all in the future, and it demands, you know, the things that are going to happen during the next while. I don't know how long. I mean, there's going to be 2 witnesses come on earth, and they're going to put plagues and stuff on people, tell the people hate them, and they'll be here for I don't know how long. I mean, it says, I don't know, a year or 2 or something. And I think that, you know, I don't know how far away we are from that. And the 4 horsemen, they are waiting in the wings. You know, the terrible things that they're going to do to this planet. Now, I'll just remind you once more time that the Bible talks about Jacob's trouble. It describes the tribulation basically as Jacob's trouble. Is that you? Are you Jacob? Are you a descendant of Jacob? Are you a descendant of the 10 tribes of Israel? The Syrians took over the 10 tribes of Israel, which was about 6 million people. And God told them that they were not going to get their Abrahamic promises that he made to Abraham and his descendants, because they broke his laws and sinned against him pretty bad. And he told them that they were going to be taken over, and they were going to lose their promise for 2,520 years. And all this time they're traveling through Eastern Europe and heading west. And it took years and years and years traveling through Caucasian mountains and, you know, living for hundreds of years here and there. There's stories of them being in the, I don't know, the mountains of the Urals, or I don't know, somewhere where they were supposed to be great horsemen and people like that. And he said that they would forget who they were. But he says, when the time comes, I won't lose one. Can you imagine that? And when they started immigrating in the 1700s or something into North America, basically North America, I guess, first, Australia, South Africa later, But when they started to immigrate out of Europe, Europe was getting pretty crowded. And approximately, they know, about 4 million at that time immigrated out of Germany to North America, Canada and the United States. And, the majority went to the United States. And these were all Nordic skull people. They had, oval skulls. And all the round Assyrian type people stayed. They are the original Germans. And, how do you explain that? And God says, I'll sift them out of the nations, and I won't lose one. Now, these people came from all over the place into North America, into Canada, from Europe and Scandinavian countries, and England and Ireland and Scotland, and France and Belgium and Denmark and, Norway, all kinds of them. And they immigrated into Canada and the United States. When Canada and the United States in the 1700s or something was basically a huge country, the largest is Russia, Canada is the second size, the United States is the third. So Canada and the United States make up just about a third of the population or the land area of the world. But who was here? Aboriginal people, Indians, roaming around. There was no roads, there was no in England, they had buildings, roads, businesses, ships. North America didn't have anything. They had bands of Aboriginals, well, they wanted to call them indigenous. I don't know where they're getting all these names from. They're basically Indians, and they're Aboriginal. Just like I believe they came from the six-day creation. And that's where all different skin colors were created. And if you read it, it says, after that, he created them male and female. And then he said he rested on the Sabbath day. No, he had a Sabbath rest. He doesn't need to rest, but he has one. And then he created Adam. How long and then is, I don't know, but it's most likely a pretty long time. Could have been 1,000, 2,000 years, I don't know. A day in God's time is equal to 1,000 years of our time. Jesus has only been gone for 2 days, a little over 2 days in God's time. But I've said this before, I'll mention it once more, is that we are living in tumultuous times which are going to get more tumultuous, more dangerous. If you listen to the people nowadays on TV and they're interviewing people, and the whole thing is we have to stay safe. We can't do anything unless it's safe. No, it's got to be safe, I never used to hear that. I mean, they're so safe that they don't want to move. That is, I think that's basically coming from feminist thought. Yeah, that's, and, you know, effeminate males too. And that's the way it is. I mean, no use arguing about it. That's the way it is. So, the thing is, it'll come to an end. All this is it's gonna come through. It's gonna go. We're gonna go through the whole thing. If you're here, if you're not here, well, then you won't have to go through it. But it looks to me like Jacob's trouble means the white race is going to go through it. That's who's going to get hit. Doesn't talk about anybody else. It talks about the family of Jacob. The white race. God said they would be like the sand of the sea. Well, I guess he meant millions, and there is millions. Hundreds of millions. So, I hope I haven't bored you, and I hope I haven't discouraged you, because there's no good. God has got a plan. This plan is going to be carried out right to the letter, and then people who are willing to qualify to live in God's kingdom with Him, they will have the best of all things. The very best. This worldly thing, you won't even remember it. So, I guess, the best thing is to believe what God says and say, okay, it's coming, can't do anything about it. And believe what He says. Believe what Jesus Christ has said. Don't believe what the preachers and the politicians say, or the news media especially, who lie and, twist everything. You can lie, put a 10% lie into something, and it's done. It's finished. If it's possible for you to not be deceived, that would be the biggest thing you could accomplish. Totally. So, let's leave it at that. Don't be deceived. Don't let anyone deceive you. And sleep good tonight. God bless you. And good night.